Hello, everybody, and welcome into Friday night, April 5th, 2024. I will be the echo because I have a monitoring things out there. Yes, Jeff, thank you for bringing that up. If there are any rail fans out there, unfortunately, Hobo Shoestring was found today and he was deceased. They found his body in a lake, so that's some very sad news to start this show off with, unfortunately.
Was that the one from Georgia?
Yeah, why are you coming through over there?
Johnson City,
Tennessee. All right, now that should be okay. Let me turn on Zoom for there. So I'm back in the studio, as you all know, or most of you know. If you don't know, I'm back in Studio A, and I've got it basically operational. It's nowhere near 100% back the way that it was, and probably won't be for a day or two. But at least I'm up and running and able to stream in the studio. I've got the green screen right here behind me. That right now is giving me all kinds of issues. As you can see right there, here's the green screen. A couple places on both the left and the right I got to worry about fixing, but I'll worry about that tomorrow. I just wanted to get up and running this evening. And we are here. Tony Wallow started us off with a good evening at 6:42. It's going to take me a minute to figure out what I'm doing here. I got everything, got the 4 monitors back, let's just put it that way, but I don't have it back in the way that I wanted. I can see all 4 monitors, but I got to make some changes, and I don't particularly want to do that while I'm live streaming. Tony Wallow, want to thank Tony again for a $9.99 super chat to the channel and the community. Thank you, Tony. I do appreciate it. You're a better man than Ginga Din if you can drive 11 hours at a stretch. I think the first day's right at 10 hours. I don't necessarily think we're going to get through Oklahoma City just for the thumbnail purposes.
Well, I was just looking at your map.
Yeah, I know. We will see what happens when that day gets here. 2 weeks from tonight, I should be on the laptop. And I should be on a very, very brief stream.
So you figured out a way to get to Oklahoma City without going through Arkansas, huh?
Oh, yeah.
It's not hard.
No. A couple different ways I could do that, actually. But, yeah. And I figured out a way to get back to Indianapolis, Indiana without going through Arkansas as well. So anyway, let me figure out where I was at here. Greg was in 3rd place. He was cleaning a chair. That's the other thing we did today is a lot of cleaning. Mrs. K and I moved the entire everything. We moved the fish tank. I drained it. We moved it. We moved the dresser. We moved all the desk back in here and all the stuff back in here. And we're up and running. We are up and functioning. I probably will start the fish cam again once this stream ends later on. Not right now, but in a couple weeks or so. Or possibly when we get back from vacation, because I don't know that I want to set it up while we're on vacation. I still got to do a lot of thinking. Yes, Ghetto, you've got your hand raised.
I have a question about the fish tank.
Okay.
How do you move the fish tank without the fish dying?
You don't take all the water out. You leave enough water in for the fish to survive, and you move the fish tank.
Yeah, but doesn't the filter need to be running?
Nope.
Huh.
They'll be fine for a couple days. Depending on the breed of the fish, they'll be fine for a couple of weeks.
They could go without the filter for a little while.
Yeah.
All that filter does is clean the water?
Basically, yes.
Huh.
Filters out all the junk and gunk in the water itself.
Huh.
Tony says the audio is normal, and when Fish 26 says, "How's everyone doing?" I'm pretty tired. We got everything moved. I couldn't sleep this morning when we got home, so I attempted to do a dubbing, and I don't think I'll attempt that ever again without some practice, because that was just absolutely horrible. There was a couple things I accomplished that was fun, and I learned some things, but as far as the overdubbing goes, that was just absolutely pathetic. But I scheduled it and decided to let it run, and I'm glad I went ahead and ran it a little bit early as well, because we needed to go do some quick shopping, and if I would have waited until later in the day, we probably wouldn't have gotten any shopping done. So it was a good break, and then I tried to take a nap when we got home. I couldn't do that because this was on my mind, and I got it functional, and it is what it is.
Were you dubbing tapes?
No, I did with the studio being at the time in the master bedroom, Mrs. K was asleep, and if you watch the premiere towards the end, you can actually hear Mrs. K snoring on the premiere. Okay? And I thought I had the microphone set just enough to pick up my voice and nothing else, but apparently she was really snoring pretty good. And I thought that was funny. I did not know that until I watched the premiere this afternoon. No, by dubbing, what I meant was I recorded the whole video with no audio. I did not say anything while I was doing what I was doing. And I wrote notes, much like Brian Lightfoot does, as to, at this point I'm going to say this, at this point I'm going to say this, and you know, this, that, and the other. That didn't work out too well. I think it's cool the way Brian does his cyber director things. I just don't think I can ever get myself to that point. And I realize this was just the first feeble attempt at doing it. I've got to do it over and over and over again, and I will get better, hopefully in time. I like doing live streams. I like doing DaVinci Live. Mistakes are made, and, you know, we move on. So, uploads can be manipulated. Uploads can look like... any upload can make it look like someone did something in a matter of minutes, when the reality is that video you guys saw today, or if you did watch it, which was about 25 minutes long, was actually 54 minutes and 53 seconds in length. And I shrunk it down that much when I added in everything to get it to where it was at. I don't think you really want to watch the 54-minute version of that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you don't. Sam dropped a link for the earthquake, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's correct.
Since it says earthquake, I'm going to say it's about
Did
the
you feel
earthquake.
it?
Yes, that's correct.
Sam, did you feel it?
Yep, it shook the house a little bit.
Wow.
Cats went crazy. We just
Well,
they just had another one, 3.8, right on the same spot.
Really? Wow. Aftershock or another?
I guess it
Sep-
could be considered an aftershock.
So what was the first one? 7.
4.8.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the 7s for some reason. Hello, Jerry. Jerry says hello. Try that again. There, now it's working.
The news stations had videos of like dogs reacting to. I
Rick
guess
Lake
all
says-
the-
Go ahead,
had a
Chris.
video. Dogs are not knowing what to do when house shakes.
The earthquake was centered, what, in New Jersey, I believe?
Yeah, middle of the top of New Jersey. It's about the same latitude that I'm at, because I'm pretty much at 40 degrees.
Did you feel it, Sin?
north. No, I didn't feel it. I was driving.
Oh, okay. I watched a really interesting video from the one out of Taiwan. People that were driving, and oh my gosh, the way those cars were rocking, and they showed a guy in a swimming pool, and it's not comical by no means, but to watch that guy being tossed back and forth in that water, man, I'm surprised he didn't drown.
They got video in Taiwan of when the rocks were coming down the mountain and smashing cars.
No,
Hit the
I haven't
highway.
seen. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that yet.
That was a 7.4.
That's where I'm remembering that from. Thank you, Chris.
What
I'd
was
seen.
what was the one back in '89, the World Series earthquake?
Oh, the one in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That was Los Angeles.
That's San Francisco during the World Series
That a 9.
in October.
There might have been one in Los Angeles one time, but that was San Francisco.
It was at approximately 5:04 Pacific Daylight Time. Boy, that's nice. What was the? We don't want to know that. We want to know what magnitude it was.
It was over 8. I was watching it on TV. They had the game on TV.
I was a recruiter in the Army at the time, and
See, stuff like that, I used to record random stuff, and I wish I would have kept a lot of stuff that I recorded.
says the series also. Okay, so it was between the Oakland Athletics and the San Francisco Giants, so therefore it was right there in the same city, and I still am not seeing what the magnitude was anywhere in this article. It's all about the World Series. You'd think maybe they might want to mention the earthquake in this article. Anyway, I believe Sin's right. I believe it was over 8.
Yeah, like 8.4 or something.
Yeah. Well, it did a lot of destruction. I mean, just watching the highways crumble. Oh.
The only one I remember that was ever bigger than that was Chile, and they had one in the 9s. It might have been 9.6 or some shit like that.
.9 is what a Google search shows. I thought it was in the 8s as well.
I stuck a link in the chat from my YouTube. It shows a big mass that hangs in a tall tower in Taiwan that prevented damage to the building it was in. It stops the building from swaying as much during earthquakes and high winds. It was sort of a neat thing. It just popped up today on my feed.
That's kind of sci-fi right out of some movies, isn't it?
Yep.
That looks pretty interesting. I'll have to go back and... Well, it's only a minute 38. I'll watch it after bed.
I would imagine that as far as damage, if you had like a 6.0 earthquake in Georgia and then a 6.0 in California, the damage would probably be different because it'd just be different.
Yeah, it would depend on the area. If it's out in the middle of the country and in fields and forest and whatnot in Georgia, and then you get in L.A. or San Diego or San Francisco or any metropolitan, I would imagine the damage would be considerably different. Just depends on location. I felt one when I was a kid. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, if the new Madrid fault goes, all of you in that area will know it. When it went in the 1800s, the church bells rang in Boston.
Tony is saying he felt it. I'm going to guess he's talking about the 1989 earthquake. If he felt today's earthquake, man, that's pretty massive.
One of the other big ones was that one in Alaska way back when. I don't remember what the magnitude was. It was pretty big.
I felt one when I was a kid. I could probably fall down and cause more ripples than it did, but it was clearly an earthquake out in Missouri at the time. And by kid, I was 16 or 17. And I went through, when I was stationed at Fort Ord, we went through a couple, but again, basically things on the wall, pictures rattled, things in a shelf kind of bounced back and forth. There was no major damage, thank goodness. Been through a couple of them, actually. Yeah, he is saying it was. Tony is saying it was 1989, and he felt it. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Pretty scary.
The one in Alaska in 1964 was 9.2.
Is that the biggest one on record, or I thought there was one like way bigger than that?
That's one of the larger ones. I won't say the largest.
Yeah.
It
I don't
was
know.
on
I'm
Good Friday.
kind of down on my earthquake history. Speaking of history, I watched Jeopardy tonight, probably for the last time ever. Going into Final Jeopardy, or no, with about 2 minutes to go in Double Jeopardy, the girl in the middle, the woman in the middle, had $29,600. The second place person had $9,200, and third place had about 71 or 72. Pretty much the girl in the middle is going to win this game, you would think. She lost. The girl that had 92 answered the last 15 questions correctly. None of them were a daily double, but when it was all said and done, she had 15,000 going into Final Jeopardy, and the girl had 29,600. Clearly, the 15,000's got a double to win to give her 30, and the girl with the 29,600 has got to wager 401 to win by $1. Basically, the girl with 15,000 got the question right. The one with the 40 that needed to be 401 got the question wrong. So, yeah, I'm not a big person of conspiracy theories or whatnot, but it just seemed too scripted for her to be so far down to come back and win. It's a tournament again. I don't know what's going on with Jeopardy and her tournaments, but this is the third straight tournament that this person that won this evening's opening match has been on a tournament this season. So I've kind of lost interest in it. It is what it is. I mean, I like watching it. I used to love to watch it. I've wanted to get on Jeopardy for a while, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I know I joke around about, I sure hope that's my final Jeopardy question. And it dealt with the NSA tonight, too. Boy, there's an irony for you. So, anyway.
You woke up,
Changing the topic back to earthquakes for 1 second. The Alaska one was the second largest one ever recorded since they started keeping track in 1900.
Was the biggest one in San Francisco?
I'm just looking at Wikipedia for the Alaska one. By magnitude, Chile, 1960. Okay. It was 9.4 to 9.6 range is what they have for it. The one in Alaska was 9.25 estimated. Then another one after that in the 1700s is 9.1 to 9.3 in Chile estimated. So there's a number of them around 9.1 to 9.3. A bunch of them are estimated. So
right.
Hard to
so we
say.
have a question. Who's the host on Jeopardy? The host on Jeopardy right now is Ken Jennings. And you may remember Ken Jennings is the guy that went on the long winning streak of the amount of days. I believe there was another guy that has the most amount of money. Actually, I think there's two that have more money than he do. And no, it's not without Alex Trebek. It just seemed. I mean, it probably is not, but it's too ironic that this person is now on the third tournament thing that's going on for this year, and she won the opening round, and to be so far down and to get every single question correct, it just doesn't set well with me. But that's just me. That is my opinion. And only my opinion. The one guy that had the least amount of money, his final Jeopardy answer was crazy. He knew he had no chance to win this evening, and it's a tournament, so they got to win 3 games. And one of my theories I told Mrs. K is this probably will last all next week because Monday the one will win, Tuesday the one will win, then the one will win again, and the one will win again, and the one will win again. And that takes you to Thursday, and they've each got 2 wins, so We will see. We will see. Do what? Oh, there she is, making her nightly appearance. Hello, Princess.
If you pop out at all,
I got a text from him this morning when I was in the process of switching the studio back to here. He got to see his doctor. I guess it all went well. He didn't say really one way or the other. But other than that, no, I've not talked to him. Bill, did we coordinate shirts tonight or what? It looks like we are wearing basically the same shirt.
I wish we'd match better if we talked about it.
I talked to him this morning to let him go up, but I haven't heard from him.
Oh yeah, yours is not. I mean, they're both striped, but yours is a little bit different shade of coloring than mine. Well, it's going to take me a day or two to get back into having this setup to get used to it. This is a Saddlebrook golf shirt, by the way. Goodwill special.
You know when he goes in for his photo?
End of the month, 24th, I believe it is. I don't have my calendar in here. It's still in the other studio or the master bedroom in a box. I believe it's the 24th. Yeah, for some reason that's sticking out of my mind.
I just want to call him and let him go up the day before.
There we go. I was wondering why I was still seeing Bill. For some reason, my streaming monitor of YouTube froze. I'll tell you here in just a second. Yeah, it's on. It's either on the 22nd, 3rd, or 4th because his class reunion is that Saturday on the 27th. And he's concerned if he's going to get to go to the class reunion or not. I don't know if he's going to join us or not tonight. I have no clue.
I've never been to a class reunion, whatever.
It's where people from your graduating class get together and you talk about school and what's been going on in your life since. And some places have alcohol, some places don't. Just it's a good thing. It's a nice thing. Usually it's a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 year, I believe is how it goes. My 50th high school class is coming up on 2027. Hopefully, if I'm alive, I'm going. Yeah.
And oftentimes,
I've never been to one.
a lot of high schools have an annual alumni banquet.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Ours.
oftentimes the reunions may be held in conjunction with that, and they will have all the ones from like the 50th or the 25th or whatever sit together.
Yep, that's our alumni does that.
Do it that way. My wife's school did not do it that way. They had theirs separately. But where I graduated, that's what we usually do.
Yeah, our alumni sets up tables by classes, and then they always honor, I want to say it's 10, 15, 25, and 50 is what they honor at the alumni dinner. And then we have been having a separate one a couple months later of just our class meeting at someone's farm and having a pitch-in dinner and or contributions. And it's usually a really good time. Usually lasts 4, 5, 6 hours. Kind of fun.
Next year, I'm going to my 60th if I'm still around.
Wow. Well, according to certain people that live south of the Mississippi, I'm not going to be able to drive very much longer because I'm getting old.
Well, I suspect he's only half right.
What about getting old or driving?
You know, I suspect you need.
Yeah, I don't think the aging process is going to slow down any.
I have a couple YouTube questions, but I'll wait for when.
All right, I appreciate that. We'll be off stream here in a couple minutes. It's 26. I did start a little bit later. I wanted to watch a complete episode of Fire Country, and as my luck would have it, at 9:45, it started buffering, and I finally just gave up hope on it. Not a big deal. I've seen enough of it. I pretty much figured everything out. and Darren will upload it for me to download to watch later anyway. We did watch SWAT. That was pretty good. I don't know if you guys have followed the TV series SWAT or not, but this is their last season, and the series will end this year. And tonight they got rid of one of their characters. They didn't get rid of him. They retired him. The way it started out, he got shot, and he took one to the heart, one to the shoulder, and one to the stomach. So, yeah, you figure he might not make it. Well, he recovers, and then he gets medically retired because his shoulder's got ligament damage and it can't be repaired. So I thought it was well written. I thought it was a well acted out show. Kind of wait and see what happens next week, because as the series winds down, they're going to be bringing people back that have left, and to catch them up. They've already announced all that, so it'd be kind of weird if they didn't. South Carolina women's team won tonight, and last I saw, the Iowa's women's team was getting beat.
That's probably not surprising either one.
No, Mrs. K and I
was playing Iowa, right?
Yes, UConn women's team was playing Iowa. And we were discussing the men's final. 26-32 at the half. UConn's up 6. And she asked me how I wanted the men's tournament to go. I said, what I would really like to see is Alabama upset UConn. Not going to happen. And Wolfpack upset Purdue. That could happen. And then the Wolfpack, North Carolina, and Alabama be in the final on Monday, and I would like to see North Carolina State win the national championship. That's what my heart wants. Realistically, it's probably going to be UConn-Purdue, and UConn's probably going to beat Purdue to be the first team to repeat in quite a long time. But we'll see. On any given day, any given team can beat anybody. But I really would like to see Alabama and North Carolina State in the finals on Monday night. I may actually be late that night if that's what happens. Either that or we're all going to be sharing our screen and watching the basketball game. I wonder if that's a violation or not.
Well, South Carolina only has one more game to get a perfect season.
Yeah, the finals. Yes. Yeah. Yep. That is true. They're in the finals, and if they win that, they will be, 33 or 34-0.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neck of the woods, which is an accomplishment. I'm looking at my analytics real quick. I don't see any yellow dollar signs, so that's good. That means I don't have to ask to be reviewed. Silliest thing I've ever seen. My Las Vegas Blue Man's got 69 views. That's doing all right. And I got 32 views on the upload I did today. So that's about average. I'm good with that. Obviously I'm not in this to make money. So if you want to join us on Zoom, kstout00m@gmail.com. I will check tonight. I forgot to check last night until the wee hours of the morning, but I will check tonight just in case I get something. I want to thank everyone again for being here. All the homies, Rich, Sam, Jeff, Sin, William. We got to coordinate our shirts better. Ghetto, Chris, and of course Greg Guy out of Maryland. I also want to thank Tony again for the $9.99 super chat. Jerry for being here. Thank you, Jerry. Wintermute was here. John Aloy Sr. was here. Hopefully John will be back tomorrow night. I'm just going off memory here. Rick Lakes was there. Sam was there. Do what, Chris? Oh, that's Greg's TV. I'm talking to a TV now. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, as soon as I figure out which monitor I put OBS on, I will stop the stream. And the Zoom will continue like it always does.
If you
Thank you,
have
guys.
Google on your TV, you can talk to it.
Yeah, funny you should mention that, because in the process of switching things, we had to unplug the Alexa, and I can say that now because Alexa can't hear me. I could shout Alexa and it couldn't hear me. Well, wait, some of you guys might have Alexa, sorry. After we got everything all moved, Mrs. K goes, what about Alexa? It's off. I said, you just got to plug it in. It'll come back. So, kind of funny. Anyway, good night. Thank you. I'm going to go find the button. It's on one of these 4 monitors. Oh, speaking of the monitors real quick. I accidentally hooked them up in the right order. I did not have to change anything. I can go, yeah, I know. It's scary. It is scary. I made one change from one of the ends. I took the display off of the one monitor and put it on. Both the displays are on the 22 inches, but when I plugged them into the graphics card, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can move the mouse left, right, left with no problem. It's the little things. Good night. I'm out of here. Don't anybody... No, I'm not going to say that.